Chapter 8. Going into Space. Time to warm up. If you want to go to your school, how would you go? You would go by a school bus. If you want to go to your grandparents' village, how would you go? You would go by RTC bus or train. If you want to go to another country, how would you go? You would go by aeroplane. If you want to go to the moon, how would you go? Time to know. What is space? The earth is surrounded by air. Beyond this layer of air is space. In space, no one can hear your scream. This is because there is no air in space. It is a vacuum. Sound waves cannot travel through a vacuum. Outer space begins about 100 kilometers above the earth, where the shell of air around our planet disappears. With no air to scatter sunlight and produce a blue sky, space appears as a black blanket dotted with stars. Space is usually regarded as being completely empty, but this is not true. The vast gaps between the stars and planets are filled with huge amounts of thinly spread gas and dust. Even the emptiest parts of space contain at least a few hundred atoms or molecules per cubic meter. Space is also filled with many forms of radiation that are dangerous to astronauts. Much of this infrared and ultraviolet radiation comes from the sun. High energy X-rays, gamma rays, and cosmic rays particles traveling close to the speed of light arrive from distant star systems. Force of gravity. Throw a stone up in the air. What will you see? The stone will fall back to the ground. This pull force of attraction is called the force of gravity. This shows that Earth has gravitational force. That is why it is not easy to get out of Earth's pull and escape into space. We need special vehicles which have the power and speed to take us away from the Earth's gravitational force. A space rocket puts a spacecraft into space. Man on the Moon. On July 20, 1969, Commander Neil Armstrong became the first man on to land the moon. He said the historic words, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." To walk on the moon's surface, the astronauts needed to wear a space suit with a back-mounted portable life support system. This controlled the oxygen, temperature, and pressure inside the suit. Edwin Aldrin and Michael Collins were the other two astronauts who traveled with Neil. Life on the moon. The moon is much like the Earth in some ways. Its rocks are similar to Earth rocks. The moon has no atmosphere, air, or water to support life. There are tall mountains and flat, dusty plains on the moon. The big holes on the moon are called craters, which are made when space rocks hit the moon. The craters on the surface of the moon are much bigger than the potholes on our roads. Since the gravitational pull of the moon is less than that of Earth, you will weigh much less on moon. Just imagine if you weighed 100 kgs on Earth, you would feel like you only weighed 17 kg when you were on the moon. You would be able to jump 6 times further and carry objects 6 times as heavy. Gravity on Earth is much stronger than that on moon, which is why astronauts have to wear all that space gear as they can just float away. The gravity on the moon is only about 1 by 5 when compared to the Earth. At least we know we are not going to float away. Fact finder. Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian to go into space. Space travel. Astronauts wear various types of clothing for all aspects of a mission to space. Whether preparing for launch, working inside the space shuttle or the space station, working outside in space, or landing back on Earth, Astronauts wear the proper garments for both comfort and protection. Astronauts conduct experiments inside the spacecraft. Kalpana Chawla. Kalpana Chawla was India's first woman astronaut engineer to travel into space. She has been a role model to several women in terms of achievement and contribution to the field of aeronautics. Kalpana Chawla created history for being the first Indian woman to travel in a space shuttle. She had the privilege of journeying as far as 10.4 million kilometers. This approximately adds up to 252 times around the Earth's orbit that comprised of 372 hours in space. It was on February 1st, 2003 that the space shuttle STS-107 collapsed over the Texas region when it re-returned to the Earth's atmosphere. This unfortunate event ended the lives of 7 crew members, including Kalpana. Sunita Williams. Sunita Williams is a United States naval officer and a NASA astronaut. She was assigned to the International Space Station as a member of Expedition 14 and then joined Expedition 15. Williams is the second woman of Indian heritage to have been selected by NASA for a space mission after Kalpana Chawla, and the second astronaut of Slovenian heritage after Ronald M. Sega. She holds 3 records for female space travelers. Longest space flight, 195 days. Number of spacewalks, 4. And total time spent on spacewalks, 29 hours and 17 minutes.